Hello, foodie fans. Welcome to the Big Food Talk, produced by Tough Monkey Entertainment. I'm your host, Sal Conca. This show supports restaurants, chefs, and food pioneers with your help. Head to bigfoodtalk.com to make your donation today, or check out our fun apparel line with proceeds going directly to participating restaurants. Special thanks to the Long Island Food Council, DineLI Facebook group, and Yelp Long Island for supporting this episode. Today I'm speaking with Chef Eric Levin, who is as inspiring in real life as he is creative in the kitchen. A 5-time cancer survivor and Chopped champion, he's now made his home at 317 Main Street in Farmingdale, New York. We had so much to discuss. He's just a genuine giver that looks for opportunities to pay it forward wherever and whenever he can. Let's hear Eric's story. Hey, Chef Eric, welcome to the Big Food Talk. I'm so excited to talk to you today. I see you're talking to me right from 317 Main Street in Farmingdale. How's everything going for you guys over there right now?
Well, first, thank you for having me on. Here it's great. I love what you're doing. 317, we're holding our own. It's obviously a crazy time for everybody, for restaurants, catering, hotels, the world in general. But we're holding on. We have some really cool, unique packages, some really cool things that we're coming up with. That's going to roll out this coming week. So we're creating, we're innovating, because it forces us into a position of can't be me too, have to be me different. You have to offer options, and it's kind of like it's definitely a trying time. But we're thank God we have business. Thank God we can stay open. We're doing all delivery and curbside, so it helps. It helps keep the lights on. It helps keep some of the employees that we have working. Had to lay a tremendous amount of people off, unfortunately, because of what's going on. And we're just, my partners and I and the team that we have in place right now, doing everything we can to stay alive and keep healthy and keep our customers excited about options.
Yeah, I mean, it's great what you're doing. I've seen all the menu options. I've actually had the food just this past week. I actually tried the food as well, and it's delicious, folks. Please go support 317 Main in Farmingdale. It's amazing. Let's go back for people that don't know you or may not have seen you on Chopped or know you write cookbooks. Like, where did you get your culinary training? How did your love for food start?
It's literally started when I was like 6 years old. Christmas, my dad got me a cookbook and said, "Hey, let's make something. Pick anything you want." And I always talk about the story because it was true and it was painful. I picked out Goofy's chocolate mousse. Back in the day, the mixers that we had were the pull-off whips, so it detached from the actual hand. And he said, "Okay, whatever you do when you're making it, don't turn the blender up because it's going to go up." So if you don't know me, I love trouble. I love causing chaos. It's always been one of my things. So I went, and I only saw my dad like on weekends once in a while, and so I'm like, okay, I could do something with him. And I just shot the thing up and right to the ceiling it went. Yeah, that was not a good reaction I got from him, but it taught me the connection of food and people. My grandmother, who was one of the people who basically raised us, always had food. It was always, we got home from school, my mom was working full-time and going to college full-time, and it was always food. There was always something grandma shared with us. So to me, food and people, it was about the connection of love and something good. So I kind of gravitated towards that and started working my first kitchen when I was 11, this Jan's ice cream spot. And, it just became my passion. And I got very lucky to do and know what I wanted to do at a very young age. Lots of ups and downs in the career, but never one day in almost 40 years I'm doing this did I ever hate it. Did I ever dislike it? Even when I was working for some monsters in the restaurant industry, kicking my tail in, I learned a lot. I learned some amazing things, wanted to kill them sometimes, but I learned from that. In this day and age, it's different. You have to approach your cooks and staff completely differently. There's more of a empathetic approach to it, and sympathetic. I'm not really good with sympathy. I do empathy, okay. Sympathy, I don't. I'm a 5-time survivor of cancer, but I went to work every day after chemo radiation treatment. I went in, did my duty, made it fun, because that's what probably one of the things that saved me. So for me, it's always been my love for food and people. Here at 317 Main Street, we actually have an open kitchen. And I did that purposefully because I want people to be able to see what's going on in the kitchen. I want them to know that we're clean, safe, and that we're having fun. Because that's, at the end of the day, that's what we're about. It's about having fun and taking care of people. It's also about the hokey pokey, because the song says so.
There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, that's great. It's a truly inspiring story. I mean, all that you've been through in your career and in your life and the passion you have for food, it definitely shows in your cooking. I mean, if people aren't following you personally on Instagram, they should be, to see, just kind of how you're committed to your life. I know you're fanatic about working out these days and staying healthy. And so it's great to see that connection. And obviously food and family has a meaning for so many on Long Island and all over the world and the country. How would you characterize your style of cooking?
I don't have a style. I've been asked that before. It's hard to pinpoint a style for me, because I just love to cook food. I just, whether it's a burger or a taco or seared foie gras, and I have to pull the tweezers out to get a little molecular. I just love to create and to cook and to make people happy, and also to teach my staff, to make them better and elevate them so that one day they can go forward. And I would love nothing more than to support them in their career as they move forward. But food for me, it's anything. It's anything and everything. It's whether we're smoking or curing or making sausages or making gelatos and sorbets and desserts in the house. It's hard for me to say one thing. I get a Jones out of everything.
And I think it's interesting that you say that because, if you look at your menus, they're eclectic, right? They're not linearly focused, right? They're not strictly one type of cuisine or flavor. I mean, so just as an example, right? I had your date night menu last week. I had butternut squash pillows followed by gnocchi pesto with soup dumplings as an appetizer, right? I mean, so, and for me as a foodie, that's fantastic because I love to taste. I love to taste different things.
Yeah, and that's how the menu's set up, because I it's hard for me to be myopic, because there's so much food out there. I mean, when we're open fully, we have jerk chicken, we have tikka masala, we have things that are very geared towards certain styles or ethnicities. But I think if you pull everything together and it's done right, then you have a win-win situation, because people could come here, get great tacos, get great burgers or noodles, or ramen. We make a great fresh ramen traditional style. So it's all these little things pulled into one package, and we try to offer that. And even now with what's going on, our packages are diverse. We have your question, you kind of asked me if I was going to talk about it a little bit on Instagram with the stuff we have coming up. But we have some really fun things coming up. Our packages will change weekly. So one of the things we realize is that most Chinese restaurants or Asian restaurants are shut down right now. And so how could we fill that void for people? So either next week or the following week, we're doing a whole dim sum package, which would be kind of fun. This week we're doing, in addition to everything else, we're doing a seafood package that has a snapper frito and paella. And then we're doing barbecue, and then we're going to do a picnic basket, which is like fried chicken and cornbread or things like that. But some of the other really cool things that we're doing is we're going to start actually to do a virtual restaurant reality box. So what that is going to entail is all the things we're going to be able to do virtually, i.e., we just started doing a thing called Feeding Farmingdale, where we have musicians play and we raise money so that we could feed people who are in need in Farmingdale and beyond. We're going to offer, which I'm really excited about, is a virtual cooking class. So what we're going to do is offer a specific menu that you can come pick up the products for it. And on Monday nights, I'm going to do a virtual cooking class. So it'll be around dinner time. So I will do it. We have our event space in the back. We have a stage. I'll do it on the stage with the lighting and cameras and everything we can do. And I'm going to walk you through the dishes. So there's going to be an appetizer, an entree, a dessert, and a cocktail.
That's really incredible. And when is that starting?
That's starting this coming Monday, which is the date.
It's May, the first Monday in May.
First Monday in May, yeah. And then we'll do it, based on how it works. People pick up this stuff on Sundays. The packages, everything. It could be for one person. It could be 2, 3, 4, 5 people. And then on Monday night or whatever time, I think it's going to be 6:30, 7 o'clock. We're going to go virtually live, and I'm going to do the cooking class with them.
Mhm.
And we're going to do it probably on a Zoom app. So this way people could interact a little bit. I'll have someone asking me questions as we go along, and then we'll do a Q&A at the end. We're also going to do a virtual kids cooking class. That'll be a couple of weeks down the line.
Awesome.
So we're going to try to do some interactive things. We're working on, I think it's going to be for next Wednesday. We're doing a virtual trivia night.
That's very cool.
Yeah, so we're going to do that, and people could, log in, and there'll be a package of food that goes along with it. That'll be a buy into the virtual trivia, and then we got just a lot of cool things coming up.
Yeah, it sounds amazing. I think it's just a virtue to your creativity, right? And the space. It's interesting how the space works. It's huge. It's got a live stage in the back. You have this big, wide open space in the front. You're really welcoming people into it, and it's meant as an event space as well. Actually, one of my friends is the founder in Love Song, the band that has
Okay, yeah, they're great. We love them. They bring a great light. We have great lighting back there, but they bring in all this other cool stuff as well. It's really a great marriage with them, and they're fun.
Exactly. So they do a great show there. So that's how I got introduced to 317 originally, because I came down to see my friend's band and all that stuff.
Firsthand, awesome. Yeah,
Exactly.
You see the insanity that goes on here when we do, and it's great insanity. But it's not like the kids' insanity. It's an adult-driven space. Though we do a lot for kids here. We do kids cooking classes. We have great meals. So even our kids' food is kind of fun because we serve it in a lunchbox.
Cute.
So we're always thinking, or I'm always thinking, or we're always thinking about how do we make the experience great. The food, we want it to be great all the time, but how do we package it? How do we create interesting? And that's the thing that I'm very, very blessed, very, very lucky. I had a great mentor in David Burke when I worked with him at the River Cafe back in the 80s. He kind of sparked that thing in my head to think differently. Not to just think here, but to think, how do you create and build in that? So that's one of the things that we bring in here, and that's the elements of fun that we try to constantly, evolve.
And what's truly interesting, what's truly interesting is that you're continuing it in this virtual world, right? That's the key here. Is I'm really excited to hear all this, because you're doing the virtual cooking classes. You're creating experiences for people, even if they can't be in the space. And that's something that is just invaluable, because you're giving people a feel of comfort and excitement and entertainment, which is really difficult to achieve in this time.
Well, one of the things that, as a team, as my partners talked about, we talked about how do we continue to develop, and we have this great space, and we can't pack it with people, but how can we pack the people in virtually? And it's been driven by all the partners, myself, and creating new ideas and other ways of offering services and keeping people entertained. Content right now is king, where you could find there are podcasts, or there are things online that people are home. They want to be entertained. Instead of going stir crazy, they want to be entertained, and they want to have something to look forward to. So in our conversations about how do we turn this virtual restaurant box into something, we came up with a great plan as a team, and everyone, and that's one of the great things about the people that I'm with. Everyone thinks from a different perspective, which is great. Some are more analytical, some are more creative, but it all pushes into the same space from different angles, and it works. It's pretty cool. After doing this for almost 40 years and finding these type of people in my life, it's great. It's a breath of fresh air, so it doesn't get stale ever. And people who are on the same wavelength in the business, it's great to see that and feel that.
And it's kind of interesting, right? As you hit a certain point in your career, you find, instead of plateauing, because some people get frustrated where I haven't hit a certain level of success yet, or I'm not doing what I really wanted to be doing yet. It takes time. It takes time to get to this point that you're at. I mean, you've done a lot. You've competed in things like Chopped. You're a Chopped champion, if people don't know that. I'm curious, what was your experience like on Chopped? What's it like being behind that counter?
That was, for me, it was a really unique experience, really different from probably most of the competitors that were on the show. Because, like I said before, I'm a 5-time survivor of cancer. The night before we taped, I had a chemo treatment and radiation treatment. My oncologist told me I had 6 to 8 months to live. So I went on the show If I win, great. I go out a winner. If I lose, the show won't be aired until after I'm dead anyhow. So, and I apologize about my dark humor. It just, I find it like ironic in a lot of ways. But yeah, it was a great experience. And from that, I became, friends with a couple of the judges, Scott Cohn and Monique Chauhan, who wrote the foreword for my new cookbook, Burgers, Bowls, and Jars. And it was a great experience. It was at that moment, to be honest with you, 9 years ago, so I was 41. At that moment, in the middle of it, I just had one of those, moments of clarity where I realized that, well, I could win this competition, but more importantly is I could beat this cancer if I could push myself hard enough. I also had, it was a humbling experience because at that moment I realized nothing is about me. It's about what I could do for others, how I could help others grow. It was just the weirdest, most amazing moment. And here I am on this bridge of dying, and it just hit me. It just sparked me. So at that moment, I went home and I realized, and I was there for 19 hours, I realized that I have this opportunity and this gift that's been presented to me. When I talk about this, people are like, what do you mean gift? You're given a death sentence. I'm like, yeah, but you see it that way. I see it as this gift of an opportunity to do for others. Yep. So now, all these years later, I'm involved with some really cool people through a program called 75 Hard that was started by this amazing guy, Andy Frisella. If you don't know about him, you should check him out on Instagram. He's just a monster. Okay. And he just, he really sparked something in me. And that's where this health and wellness approach shifted my paradigm. It's not just about a physical, it's the mental strength that you need. And there's no better time than now to find how to build that strength. And through his program, 75 Hard, I've always been strong mentally. I didn't realize how much stronger I could be, and then the physical happened. I'm down 38 pounds and constantly working at it. And I try to pay it forward. One of my partners, actually, he just started doing the program. So we were on a Skype meeting, a Zoom meeting last night, and he's on his machine, he's going back and forth. I don't know, it's like so proud of him because we grew up together. That's how I got involved with these guys. We grew up together, and life happened, you separate, and then one day my partners actually bought the Nutty Irishman, which is next door, and they wanted to talk about me maybe consulting. And I had restaurants in New Jersey at the time, and it just whatever happened didn't work out. And a year later, they got this space here, and they said, "Hey, listen, we need you. Let's talk." I came out. I saw it was a raw space. I don't even mean there was nothing there. It was zero. It was these metal studs going down between the two spaces, and the vision happened, and we designed it, and it was the first time that I was this involved in designing it, down to the light fixtures, the colors of the tile, the floor. I mean, we all, a couple of us put it together, but it came out great. It's a great space, and then you've seen it for yourself, and
it's impressive.
Yeah, it's. I'll tell you, when people come in and they don't realize we have an event space in the back for live music and weddings and communions and bar mitzvahs and what have you. We have a very unique space here, and Catherine, who does a lot of our business stuff, but also she's our catering manager as well. You never find a calmer person in chaos with an event. When the bride's out of her mind, or the mom's out of her mind for the first birthday, and she's just like, it's the greatest thing. Like, I don't have to deal with it, and I don't have to deal with her losing her mind because she doesn't. Everything's okay. Everything's calm, even in chaos. So It's good to have a team around you, with you, that is just, we all get it. We all figure it out. We all focus on what's the best thing for the business and for our customers. Just like we are doing right now, we're trying to figure all these different ways to make our customers' experience great, even if it's in a box.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk a little bit about the food, and because, that's what the people want. That's what the people need. And we talked a bit about, different menu items and options that are coming up, but like in terms of the menu and how you designed it, what are some of the best-selling items on the menu today?
Well, today it's very different than it was a month
I know.
So our packages range really wide and varied. So my partner Joe, came to me and said, "We got to do something like chicken and mac and cheese." So we came up with a chicken cutlet, mac and cheese, salad package. It sells for $25. It's inexpensive, and we really tried to make it so that, especially for those who are struggling, it's affordable, and it's quantity, and the quality still remains. And we have different packages like our family pack, which is you get a choice of 4 different types of burgers, tacos, mixed green, a choice of salad, and then dessert. And that's, I think, $49.
Hmm.
So we can feed a family really well for a small price. And then we have our regular a la carte menu. It's a limited compared to our normal menu, but we still have lots of options and lots of things to offer. Taco Tuesdays we're still doing. So every Tuesday you can choose from 3 tacos and
Yeah,
the regular sides with that. So lots of variety. Like we talked about the virtual stuff that's coming up and
sure.
our other packages. So we actually started last week, which you had, which is our date night, which
Yeah,
was kind of a cool thing because people are always looking for something different, and no one's going out on a date. So I came up with the idea of what if we created a date night menu. Now it's outside of our normal menu, and it's fun. So this week's a different one. Next week will be another one,
yeah,
and we
it's
just try
great.
to make it interesting and give variety.
Well, I'm a marketing guy and I still fell for the subliminal messaging. I got suckered in, me and my wife, we wanted date night and we did
Right?
it. And my wife, by the way, she loves your sangria. The sangria was,
Awesome. I was about to bring that up. We also do a lot of alcohol. So we have the sangria pack, courts. Perry, who's our restaurant manager, has come up with some really cool things, and we're actually going to put together a menu of cocktails that could be sold by the court.
awesome. Awesome. Yeah. Sangria and margaritas and all that stuff is great by the court. It's funny having these conversations, right? That we're buying
Yeah.
drinks by the court these days, but you know, at least it's available and it is fun. It's just showing off you and the restaurants and everybody on Long Island, the creativity that's going into food right now. And I think, in some regards, it's good for some of these restaurants to be able to break out of their shells a little bit because they've been stuck potentially in the same menus, the same items for so long. I mean, you're different because you're a little bit newer place, but some of these older restaurants that are around, I think it's good for them to be able to have to buck the trend a little bit.
And you would hope that they do, and you would hope that they think a little bit outside of their own box and get a little more comfortable in what the new norm is. This isn't going away anytime soon.
No.
People say, "Oh, we're going to open up the economy, open up the economy." It is not going to be the same. People aren't going to go out the way we want them to. So, and like I said in our meeting the other day, we talked about this is our new norm. How do we take advantage or offer opportunities within the new norm? Because if we're at a 50% capacity, you're taking out, 10 tables,
Yep.
which we have 10 tables in here. So we have to move them to the backspace, which we're very fortunate to have. But most people, unfortunately, they're not, I really hate to say this, but they're not going to survive. There's going to be a shutdown rate upwards of 20, 30% easily. Because I have chefs all over the world who just, regardless of to whatever stimulus package they could get, which is a whole other conversation, but, they're not going to be able to survive because they don't have, and I try to share with them. I was on a Zoom meeting the other night with a bunch of chefs, friends of mine, and we were talking about the challenges that we're facing. We're not these big corporate companies that could, pull money from one place to the other. We're mom and pop, so to speak. We're single unit entities where, we're us at 317 Main Street. We're very, very, very blessed and very, very lucky that we can remain open and that we can service our customers. And that comes from the innovation. So I hope that people that I know will see what we're doing and say, oh, I could do that too, but I could do it this way, or I could do it better, or whatever. I don't care. Whatever helps them survive. But it's just a strange place to be. It's just,
It is.
whoever thought this, and then you see some of these big name chefs going on different, on different shows and talking about the impact of well, okay, great. You got a little bit more ability to go to a bank. They're going to give you more money faster than they're going to give me.
Yeah.
And it's a whole different conversation.
Listen, it's reality of the business. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, there's always people who the haves and the have-nots, and there are people that have risen to a level of success, and but they also have bigger bills to pay and more staff and things to worry about too. So bigger money sometimes got bigger problems. It's just it all depends. It's all perspective these days, and I think like we said, just being kind to people, having the humility. I'm sure, Farmingdale has gone through, a rebirth, and you're part of that with the restaurant. So how has the Farmingdale community, have you seen anything in the community that's just really stuck out to you as like what's been going on and people reaching out or doing donations, things like that?
Yeah, well, we started this this Feeding Farmingdale program. The Chamber of Commerce is also has a program where they take money and they go to a restaurant to support it, and then send that food to people who are in need, which I think is an amazing thing. We do it as well, but we do it with music, where we go live and people donate, and then we send the food to different people who are in need. We help Winthrop Hospital, the night shift. We send some food to them to kind of support them and thank them for being on the front line. And I think you do that. You pay it forward. You try to give as much as you can, what you can. And I'm a true believer in that. But I do a lot of charity work, and I'm very blessed to partake in it. But it costs the business money, and no one really has the funds to do that now. So we do what we can. So we send our basic stuffs out that are great for them who need. They don't have to worry about where they're getting food from tonight. Doing the charity work, it's an important thing. So there's a couple of restaurants that are still open over here, doing takeout. Le Petit Cafe across the street, they do a lot of baking goods.
I know Tina very well.
Yeah, Tina's awesome, and she does an amazing job. And if I wasn't on my program and I could eat sugar and flour, I would be knocking on that door in the window every single day. Can I get a little macaron, please? But that's a unique thing. And so she's staying open, and she's doing like for Mother's Day, like we are, packages for cakes and stuff. And we're actually doing what we did Easter Sunday, which was offer takeaway, curbside Mother's Day package, which is great. It's on our Instagram page and our website 317mainstreet.com. So there's a lot of options. But I see a lot of people seem to be a little bit more hesitant in walking around. But they're out. Saturday was proof of the pudding in that one. It was
yes.
We had lines of just people just getting food. It was great. That we had a great Saturday, probably our best one, and it just showed to me that when that weather hits a little bit, a little warmth, people want to get out, get their masks on. They want to get the food and the drink on.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've said it a little bit. I mean, the weather here has been absolutely miserable in New York. Just no question about it. It's probably helped flatten the curve a little bit, though, thankfully. And so we'll have to see how it goes with things opening up. I mean, I was out riding my bike on Saturday because there was no way I was going to stay in on that gorgeous day. And it's beneficial. I'm glad it worked out for you guys. Chef, this has been a really great conversation. I really loved it and enjoyed talking with you. I think I'm going to have you back. We're going to have another conversation to see where you're at in a few months.
Love it. Love it. Thanks, Sal.
You got it. Where can people follow you? Tell people where to find you. I know they know 317 Main. How can they find you personally?
On Instagram at Chef Eric L. All my stuff starts at on my Instagram and feeds through my Facebook pages and my Twitter. So if you go to 317 Main Street, it's all there. And I do lots of stories, videos of food we're doing, or sometimes concepts in life. Definitely share my 75 Hard. Share what we're doing here at the restaurant. So yeah, at Chef Eric L at Instagram is probably the best way to get a hold of to see what we're doing.
Awesome, Chef. Well, it was so great to meet you today, and I can't wait to keep in touch and build on our relationship.
And we'll see you soon. All right. Thanks so much.
Cheers. Thanks for tuning in to The Big Food Talk, produced by Tough Monkey Entertainment. Subscribe on iTunes and wherever you listen to podcasts. Follow us on Instagram for behind-the-scenes takes, or watch complete episodes on YouTube. Don't forget to make a donation at bigfoodtalk.com.